Hey guys, welcome back. So you saw my video and you decided, hey, I want to learn more information about my kids' struggles, about why my kids are having these issues, and how do I support them naturally? How do I get them out of this stuck on stress process, what I call the gas pedal, that's activating that stress cycle in their brain and their nervous system that's creating this roadblock for better function, better healing. And instead, they're stuck in stress. They're stuck in symptoms. So what I tend to discuss with parents and families is that if your child, if it's a baby with colic or reflux or constipation or belly issues or chronically sleep deprived, right? Or if it's an older kiddo with some sensory stress or some immune struggles, lots of ear infections, strep, respiratory things, or even our older kiddos with the emotions, the behaviors, the attention, the focus, stress, and issues. What I tell parents is that this is for every single kiddo. Your brain and your nervous system are constantly in communication with your body, and when stress or roadblocks or what we call subluxations get in there and wreak havoc and cause that stress stuck on cycle, it leads us down this path of roadblocks creating interference creating dyskinesis, which is our poor motor output. So things like when you think of like a child with sensory struggles or sensory issues, their nervous system is perceiving their environment and responding inadequately. It's responding with stress instead of responding appropriately. So things like lights or sounds or textures or food, they don't want to eat those. They don't want to do those. They want to hear them because their brain is perceiving stress and it's responding that way. One example I can give you is I was driving down the road with my two boys, and we were stopped at a stoplight. And before any cars could go, here comes a fire truck with its sirens going, it's honking its horn, it's making lots of noise, and my kids are looking and celebrating because they love fire trucks. They're watching this fire truck, they get to see the lights going, the sounds going, and they're excited about it. Right next to us, there's a dad driving his little boy. His little boy is sitting in the back with headphones on, and he's covering his ears. That's a sensory overwhelm, right? For most kiddos, that's an exciting time. For him, it's a stressful time. So his brain most likely is stuck on stress. Subluxation is wreaking havoc in his body and his nervous system, and he's responding with, hey, I don't like that sound. I can't adapt to and experience that. I have to shut it out. And if I don't shut it out, I'm going to be stressed out. I'm going to have an emotional attachment and an emotional response, a physical response to that. So that's like your idea of dyskinesis or dyskinesia is your poor movement. That's nervous system stuck in stress, physically taut and tense. We're physically trying to protect ourselves. And then these things over time lead us into dysautonomia, which is a poor autonomic nervous system function. The autonomic nervous system controls everything in your world, from your immune system to your sensory system, to your sleep, your digestion, your healing, your ability to regulate with our emotions and our speech and communication. When your nervous system gets stuck on stress for so long, you create this dysautonomic process that wires our brain to function that way. And I'm here to tell you that if you're watching this video, if you commented on our video and said, New Hope, you got this link for more information, more science into why this happens to our kids, this is that process happening. That normal pathway that is so dysregulated and dysfunctional leads us into one, two, or all of these symptoms and problems. There's a way out of it. There's something you can do as a mom or as a dad who wants their child to function and feel better. There's something that you can do. So come over here and pan over here to this left side. The chiropractic adjustment. What my wife, Dr. Angela, and myself do every single day is we adjust our kids and our families that we see. We adjust subluxation. We adjust these roadblocks to release them. Once we can release roadblocks through natural, gentle, and easy adjustments, we're able to clear stress. And when we are able to clear stress, what does that do for your body and your nervous system? It improves the ability to heal. It improves that sensory overwhelm. It improves that immune system's response to its environment and getting those ear infections out of the way, getting that respiratory stress that's chronic, getting that out of the way. It improves your ability to calm and regulate. So your emotions, your behaviors, instead of being hyperactive, you're able to focus. You're able to keep your attention. These kiddos are stuck in these processes. And so often the medical world, our community, tells us that it's normal when in fact it's not normal. Even though it's common, it's not a normal thing that our kids should be going through. Our kids are built to live life to the fullest. As long as there's stress in their nervous system, it's going to wreak havoc and they're not going to be able to live that life that they were designed to do. So if we come over here to what I call the neurostorm, this is what we discuss with our parents and our families, is we're discussing the different ways that stress impacts our world and how do we respond and react to that. So there's different stresses, meaning there's physical traumas, there's chemical traumas, and then there's emotional stress. So things like stressful pregnancy, birth interventions, traumatic birth, falls, accidents, surgeries for kiddos, these are all physical in nature. Then you have the chemicals, the antibiotics, when we have to get some release or some help or some support with those ear infections or the strep, the respiratory things, or the nutritional side. If we're constantly having to take medications, whether it's over the counter or prescribed for certain conditions and certain problems, and then things that we can't control in our environment that are there in our water, in our food, in the air. And then you have the third one here, the emotions. So heightened fear, heightened anxiety, very busy lifestyles, whether physical or emotional, technology overload. We as a society have so much technology right at our hands, and guess what? It's overwhelming our brain because it's stimulating that gas pedal, that stress cycle. And then that leads us into the impulsive behavior, the hyperactivity, the social challenges, the school reports that we're getting from parents that aren't the best, right? What we're here to say is that there are different areas that impact our kids more and more than ever before. The warning signs to that very early on are the colic and the sleep issues, or the reflux and constipation, difficulty nursing, more the physical dyskinetic process that we talked about on that board that I was showing you before. Birth injuries, ear infections, the immune struggles, the allergies, the eczema. Later on, these kiddos develop the motor delays, the speech delays. When it becomes a chronic situation, this is stress building over time. When it becomes a chronic situation, our society loves a diagnosis for some reason. So we get labeled as an ADHD, a sensory disordered kiddo, or an anxiety kiddo, or autistic, autoimmune. This is that pathway that so often gets deemed as normal when it's not normal to have these struggles. It's just very common. So when we go back to that chart, right, that interference and that roadblock that's creating stress from our brain to our body and our body to our brain, when we can determine the root cause of that through our protocol as pediatric chiropractors, which is our CLA scans. We have 3 neurological scans that we run to determine stress in your child's body, whether they're a couple weeks old to the teenagers and the older kiddos, right? We are able to measure stress in different forms, determine where the imbalances, where the root causes of it are coming from, and then how do we improve it? How do we change it? How do we release those roadblocks, those interferences that are causing all of these effects? Because when you look at the effects, like difficulty sleeping, low energy and fatigue, speech challenges, balance, coordination, sensory overwhelm, focus. When you think about those things, those are all neurological symptoms, neurological problems. They stem from something deeper. They stem from what is the root cause of interferences and imbalances. So when you have a roadblock in this upper cervical spine, chances are it's interfering with that vagus nerve, that natural brake pedal in our body that slows us down, that heals, that improves our sleep, that improves our digestion, and it improves our immune health and our ability to regulate our emotions. When we can get to the root cause of what's doing that, you can see a change in these effects, these symptoms. You can see a calmer kiddo. You can see a kiddo that goes to sleep, a kiddo that is able to focus and have attention, or able to improve their speech. Their nervous system is hardwired for stress. And our job is to unwire that stress process and then improve function and improve their ability to adapt, to regulate, to heal. And ultimately, we're doing it through the most natural process possible. Nervous system adjustments to the spinal cord to release the stress and improve their ability to heal and regulate. When your child can experience this change, can experience this through and through, they become happier, they become healthier, and then the entire family gets impacted because of it. So comment on this video. You can text us, you can email us, you can give us a call. This is the first step to getting your child the natural healing potential back that they are designed for. And that's our job. That's our mission. That's our purpose, to help struggling kids, to give new hope to families so that you guys can live the life that you deserve.